Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I decided to switch up the background a little bit, so hopefully the sound is just as loud and clear as my previous location. Today I want to talk a little bit about what it's like for me when I don't have my hearing aids in versus when I do have my hearing aids in, but I'm going to do my best to kind of give you some examples as to what it's like for me. So I will say that when I first got my hearing aids in and put them in, I was shocked at how much sound I was missing. There are so many little noises that I didn't realize I was no longer picking up. And I have no idea really how long that was going on for. It could have been, years before I was even diagnosed because a lot of those little sounds I just wasn't noticing anymore. But the first time I put in my hearing aid, like I said, I was just shocked about the sound. And then when I took my hearing aid out for the first time, being reminded of the silence was another very strange sensation. And still to this day, I get a ton of anxiety when I have to take my hearing aids out. It's very, very weird. And I like sometimes the silence is welcomed, but at the same time, it's eerily quiet for me. And I'm not always prepared for it, even though I deal with it every day. But just to give you an idea, the sounds that I no longer, I guess, pick up is sitting here with my hearing aids in right now. I can hear the tap kind of dripping and making those gurgling noises in the background. When I'm in the bathroom, I can hear the fan on. When I take my hearing aids out, those noises aren't there anymore. And those noises to begin with are typically quiet, but my hearing aids do pick them up. And so when I don't have my hearing aids in, those little background noises are gone. And I also really struggle with waking up in the morning because I don't have those little noises there to kind of gently wake me up. I don't hear the wind outside. I don't hear, the pipes in the house. I don't hear any of that. And so even with an alarm, I still really, really struggle to get up in the morning because it's so quiet. I mean, I sleep great, which is awesome, but the waking up is hard. And I used to be a morning person before my hearing loss, and I'd get up no problem, but now I find myself very, very slow in the morning. And then once I put my hearing aids in, it's like I'm awake. I as soon as that, sound goes off in my ear, the do 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 do. I mean, my hearing aids make that noise when I turn them on. It's like my body wakes up because my brain is starting to pick up all those sounds. And it's a really weird sensation, and I don't know if I'll ever get used to it, but it's something that I handle every day. And like I said, I still get anxiety when I have to take my hearing aids out, so I typically try not to take my hearing aids out, even though it is important to take those hearing breaks and to let your ears breathe. That's something I still try and, do here and there. But again, I really don't like taking my hearing aids out if I don't need to. And that's something else, that I'll talk a little bit about today is trying to enjoy things that require me to take my hearing aids out. For example, swimming. I used to love swimming. Every summer I would be in the water as much as I can. And now I really don't like swimming. It's really hard for me to enjoy being in the water, and I think eventually I might be able to enjoy it again. And I think it's one of those things that over time I'll be able to appreciate it again. And there's a lot of other things too that require me taking my hearing aids out that I just don't know if I'll fully love again. Do you guys find that you have that problem too, where there's things you used to love doing, but now it's kind of hard for you to enjoy? Let me know in the comments below. But yeah, I think it's hard for non-hearing aid wearers to understand what it's like to hear with your hearing aids and then also take them out and experience the silence and experience sounds differently. Certain sounds with my hearing aids are very, very loud. And I don't think people understand or realize that And I said this before, hearing aids are not a cure. They are just a temporary fix. And so even though I can hear, some sounds do not sound like what I remember, and are also either very, very loud and sometimes it's just too much, and sometimes they're not loud enough, and my hearing aids just for whatever reason can't give me the volume that I need for different sounds or noises, like the telephone. Don't get me started. Sometimes I can hear people on the other line. I change the setting and it's great. And other times I'm just like, unfortunately I can't hear you. Can you send me a text or leave me a voicemail or something, and I'll try and listen to it later so I can repeat it multiple times. My dog here wants to say hello. This is Nixon. But yeah, it's just, again, unless you experience it, I don't know if my explanation is going to give you a good idea of what it's like, but hopefully it's given you or opened your eyes a little bit more to what it's like for people who wear hearing aids. Yeah, that's my experience with my hearing aids in and my hearing aids out. One other thing that really shocked me the first time I had my adjustment, which when I say adjustment, it means I went for my checkup and they had to increase my volume. When they increase the volume, and then the first time you take your hearing aids out after that, I thought I had lost even more hearing, because the volume in my hearing aid versus the level without my hearing aid was so much different that it takes my ears that much more time to adjust taking it in versus, putting it on versus taking it off. And I was like, oh my goodness, is my hearing that much worse? Like, I spoke to my audiologist about that, and he was like, no, it's just your brain and your ears trying to adjust from that new level. So it's nothing to really be worried about, but it is something that you'll kind of have to get used to, and it's another transition. So every time I go for an adjustment, I have to mentally prepare myself, okay, there is going to be another adjustment period where sounds are going to sound differently and volume is going to be different. And it's just one of those things that you have to get used to. So now whenever I have my appointment, I mentally prepare myself. I'm like, okay, just remember, it's not going to be like it was. It's going to be another transition period. And I think that's something you just have to keep reminding yourself, is that even though you have hearing loss, there's always going to be transition periods, and there's always going to be a level of adjustment. Even if your hearing stays the same, I think there will always be things that you just have to adjust with. Yeah, so I'd love to hear your experiences with wearing your hearing aids and taking them out and what that's like for you. So please let me know in the comments below or send me a DM. I'd love to hear it. And see you next time.